Speaking of lunatics, I think we need to move on and say rest in peace. We learned this week that the hardcore legend, the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal Sabu passed away at the, my God, too early age of 60, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, he was beat up, though.
Yeah, but still 60.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I know he put his body through a lot, but that don't mean I was like expecting him to pass at 60.
Harper thinks that's still old because his that's not the end of the decade he's in.
No, that's young, man.
It really
60.
is.
Did they say how he died?
No, it's not been disclosed, whatever it was. At least as of us recording this. I mean, by the time this comes out next week, it may be, but who knows? I don't know.
You know there was that time in the 90s when you first saw him doing shit and you were like, what?
Oh yeah, for real. I jumping all over the place. I was like, holy fuck. Him and Rob Van Dam.
The first time I saw him in ECW. See, that's one of them things where, you know how you always hear somebody just pops off the screen the first time you see him, you're like, okay. Like, all right, this person's got something. The very first time I saw him in ECW, I was like, wow, this dude is crazy. He does a lot of insane stuff. The old timers, some of them back then, thought it was too much, but I was like, I don't know, man. He's getting over. That's what I'm seeing. The whole thing.
Yeah, I remember thinking, like, dude, I was like, okay, this isn't Doink the fucking Clown. Holy shit.
I remember this wasn't one of the first times, but I'd seen him for a while at this point, a few years. I'll never forget he hit some moonsault and he's trying to break a table that's like either on the floor or wedged between the barricade and the apron. And he hits this thing and he hits his shin on the freaking top of the barricade. And he grabs his leg and I'm thinking, my God, how did it not break? Just, and he's like, nope, I'm still going to break this table. And he goes back up and does it again. And I think he goes through the table that time. But the whole homicidal, genocidal, the dude was just insane. The stuff he did for during that era. I mean, we talk about Scorpio in WCW with his movements. Sabu wasn't quite like Scorpio as far as being as agile, but he was very agile. And he was just doing things during that era where it's like, okay, this isn't the cartoon BS that this wrestling thing has become over the last few years. This dude is real. I really looked at him and said, man, I believe this dude.
Well, and he was fortunate, and I know he had been wrestling in the 80s, but he was fortunate to be really perfecting that shit right at the time when he had the platform to really get seen doing it.
Oh, it was I say that. So I say that a lot about ECW, Doc. You and I did that watch along a couple of years ago when I was at your house, and that what was that 4-way dance or whatever, and where we were both just completely drunk and we did the watch along. And and
I remember that.
Okay,
sure.
But my thing was I'd said during that episode.
Wait, Harper has his hand up.
I don't think Harper realizes he put his hand up in Teams.
I'm just hitting these things.
Oh, okay.
Don't hang up. Whatever he's got.
What's the react button do?
You can clap or give a thumbs up to something we say or a heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can react you can heart it. See, look, he's giving an
There
applause.
it is. There it is. Yeah, I sit on about 6 hours of these calls a day.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
that sucks.
But what I was going to say was, about you hit the nail on the head, Doc, talking about that era, because I said we were the perfect age when ECW hit its apex. Would you agree with that?
Early 20s, yeah.
We were
we're drinking beer.
Yeah.
It
was made for our generation, Gen X, at the age that we were at that time.
And that's why I've always said that Raven is one of my favorite characters of all time, because he nailed that shit perfect.
Well, and what the point I'm going to make is if we're 50 years old in 1995, do we look at ECW the way we look at ECW the way we look at it when we were 20 to 25? Probably not.
No.
And so my point, what I was going to go back to Sabu is, we were that perfect age for guys like him and Taz and Scorpio, for that matter, Cactus Jack, RVD, Sandman. We were the perfect age for those ECW guys. And to what you said, Raven, even when we look at Douglas, look at Douglas when he's in WCW versus freaking ECW. We laugh at him in WCW. And in ECW, we're like, what's the line you always say? Cut the fucking music. I mean, it's like, damn.
He was my favorite. Him and Raven are my favorite two of ECW because of the characters.
Douglas and Raven, when you said him?
Yeah.
That's what, yeah. Harper, we don't need...
I'm applying these videos, bro.
Harper turned on his camera. Why is it so dark?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ, what is with the beard? Dude, you look like Ron Wright right now.
Jesus.
Look at him.
If he's in a wheelchair, we know something's up.
We're trying to have a serious discussion here about
Has the background changed?
I don't know what the hell's going on with your background.
Can you imagine Harper at the shoot job on some calls?
No. Imagine if he had to work with us. on a conference call, and somebody was just one of those, using jargon and lingo. Harper be like,
"Oh yeah,
bruh,
what the fuck are y'all talking about?"
There you go.
What does that even fucking mean?
Yeah.
I just say Reaganomics.
Okay.
Nobody says that.
Back to Sabu.
And bump stock doesn't work at the shoot job, just so you know.
Not like it does here. Back to Sabu though. 60's too young, man. Way too young.
Yeah.
He was a hell of a talent, man.
How many times did he work for Wildcat, Harper?
I know he worked with Danny Flamingo once.
That was the one I was thinking of. The X-rated back in 2017 or 18.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Because I said, I sent Devin a text. I said, R.I.P. bitch. Because he was about to wrestle Sabu. I was trying to mess with him, just scare him. Oh man. I was on two shows with him back in the early 2000s.
Well, fuck, dude, that's when he was still fucking hip and happening.
Yeah. He was.
The problem is, and it's a cautionary tale to these guys doing that shit today, is there is when it goes fast.
Yes. I don't understand why they don't realize is that when you're 40 years old, just to get up to go take a shit is going to be rough. It's like doing drugs, bro. When you're 20 years old, you can get coked up at the fucking club.
I don't know that.
But if you keep doing that, it's sooner or later, it's going to bite you in the ass when you get older.
Harper, you speak like somebody that was a cokehead. None of us here were cokeheads.
No, but you can't keep abusing your body when you're young and expect it to still hold up when it gets older. It's just like a car. If you go buy a new Mustang, right? Mustang 5.0, it goes from 0 to 40 to whatever, and you drive it like a fucking asshole, 10 years from now, it's going to be on fucking blocks because you drove it to the fucking... Just because it can go that fast, it doesn't mean you're supposed to drive it like that consistently. And your body is the same fucking way. If you want this shit to last, you got to drive it like an old grandma.
Yeah. Hey,
your body is the same fucking way.
It's why I appreciate more and more every time I see Paul Orndorff come out and get everybody out of their seat before he ever locks up.
Yeah, no doubt. Harper. I agree with you.
All right, well, Harper hates Sabu. R.I.P., buddy.
Nice.
Harper, what were you about to ask me before you went on your rant?
Oh, where was that show at?
One of them was at Tag Gormley.
Oh.
The fuck is that?
The high school
Gordy Stadium.
Yeah, it's where the 1992 U.S. track and field Olympic trials were. It's where many of the New Orleans high schools play because most New Orleans high schools don't have football stadiums, their own stadiums. So they play at Tad Gormley.
That's the one at City Park, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was there.
Yeah.
It rained that night, man. It was a disaster.
Oh God,
yeah.
dude.
Yep. It rained like right before, like for the 2 hours before it started. When it started, there was no rain, but it was real humid. Anyway, I was on that one, and then there was another one in Morgan City. I think at the Morgan City Civic Center. That had to be 02-ish, somewhere around there, 03 maybe.
How was y'all's crowd?
Well, the Tad Gormley one was very bad.
Fucking dead, yeah.
The Morgan City one, it was pretty good. I mean, I say pretty good. Probably around 500 people, 600 people.
Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah,
they must have lost their ass.
Skandar Akbar was on that one too.
Oh shit.
Managing. I don't remember. Anyway, all I remember about Sabu from the Tad Gormley one, we were doing like remote radio shots. I was at the old daiquiri shop on Veterans, right by Lakeside, the night before the Tad Gormley one, because we were like promoting it. And the promoter comes up to me and goes, "Go ask Sabu what he wants you to say about his match tomorrow night, because he's not gonna talk." I walked up to him. I said, "Hey man, you need me to say anything?" Because they had me just running my yap with the DJ that night, and Sabu says 2 words to me. He's like, "Nah, whatever." That was it. But anyway, yeah, he wasn't too talkative. That's all I can say. He wasn't a dick. He wasn't like Tommy Rich or nothing. But
that's nice.
He was just there. Anyway, yeah, man. R.I.P. Sabu, man. All I remember is those ECW matches, man. Barely Legal against Taz, and I think the first pay-per-view. He had some battles in that promotion, and good God, yeah, he put his body through some stuff. Oh, I never forget, like one of the first time seeing him and just seeing all the scars on his body. I'm like,
yeah, I know, dude.
Like, this dude's been through the wars, man.
And then tonight is the Dark Side of the Ring of the Sheik.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, like, can you believe how that's
Yeah.
crazy. Same week.
Yeah, that is. Well, so let's pick it back up. We're going to get started here on our episode in a minute. Mike, do you have some shout outs? And then I'm going to set the stage for the next couple of weeks for everybody. But you said you had some patron shout outs. Is that correct? Real quick. So we are, our Halloween Havoc pay-per-view review is in the rearview mirror on Patreon at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Had a couple of new patrons sign up recently. John, Neil, L, and Ray. Thanks for signing up on Patreon and becoming patrons. You can be like them and become a patron. You'll get access to all of our pay-per-views from WCW dating back to 1985. All of the clashes. I think we've got 25 of them done by now. All of those are available on Patreon. The JV Goon Squad shows, the World Class shows, all available on Patreon. tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Sign up there and get all the gold. Doc, the gold. Any 5-star reviews before we? I don't think so, but no, I don't think so. It's shame on y'all. We do have a couple of announcements. We want to do a little housekeeping here while Harper is completely just sticking his headphones up his own ass over there. He doesn't know.
I'm going to take control of the presentation.
Yeah, because your hand is still up. I know. Yeah. I see it. I'm choosing to ignore you now.
How do I take it off?
Just hit it again.
Okay.
Let's see.
There it went.
Yep, there it is. His hand's down. Okay.
Oh, Harper's gonna be ready for an office job by the time. No, he just hit a heart.
I'm gonna change my view, bro.
Harper's gonna be ready for an office job by the time we're done with this. Go ahead, Doc.